Good evening and welcome to Nebraska Nightly. I'm Hallie Gutzweiler.
And I'm Tanner Dykstra. Our top headlines for today include the Walt Disney Company possibly losing its independent status in the state of Florida, petitions for medical marijuana to be on the November ballot for Nebraska, and mask mandates being lifted across the nation.
This is Nebraska Nightly.
Live from the University of Nebraska College of Journalism and Mass Communications, this is Nebraska Nightly.
Thanks for tuning in this week for Nebraska Nightly. On Thursday, the Florida legislature passed a bill to end Disney's private government, which was granted in 1967. State lawmakers passed the bill after Disney objected to the new laws limiting certain classroom discussions about sexual identity and gender. The final vote was 70-38, and Governor Ron DeSantis is expected to sign the bill sometime today.
Hip-hop legend Snoop Dogg visited Lincoln on Wednesday for his show at the Pinnacle Bank Arena. Marijuana legalization groups in Nebraska took this opportunity to sign signatures to get legalization on the ballot for the November election. Petitioners have until July 7th to reach their goal of 87,000 signatures. This comes after the U.S. House of Representatives passed a nationwide legalization bill earlier this month, which will go to the Senate this summer. Today marks the 51st anniversary of Earth Day. It's widely recognized as the largest secular observance in the world.
Earth Day started in 1970 because of a growing concern over air pollution caused by leaded gas.
Earth Day is an annual event celebrated around the world, marked by more than 1 billion people every year in more than 190 countries.
If you would like to participate this year, the Innovation Campus is hosting a free Earth Day event tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with lots of exciting things in store.
Mask mandates and COVID restrictions are being lifted across the nation.
One of the biggest steps in lifting these mandates came on Monday with a federal court ruling.
Nebraska Nightly's Jenna Reynolds has more in your weekly health update.
Thanks. A court ruling Monday ended the national mask mandate on public transportation. This means masks are no longer required in airport terminals, on planes, buses, or trains. Rideshare services like Uber and Lyft have also dropped the mask requirement for drivers and customers. So, if you plan on taking an Uber or have any travel plans coming up, bringing a mask along is up to you. Here in Lincoln, we are still in green on the COVID risk dial for the 5th consecutive week. New COVID cases per day are staying around 10 to 20 people, and there's only been one COVID-19 related death in Lancaster County the past 2 weeks. Also, the Lincoln Health Department is offering 2 large-scale second booster shot clinics at Pinnacle Bank Arena next Tuesday and Wednesday. For more information, visit the Lincoln Lancaster County Health Department's website. Stay healthy.
Thanks, Jenna. This weekend, the University of Nebraska-Lincoln's dance program is putting their end-of-year performances.
Jill Lampkins is here to tell us about the season's grand finale.
That's right, Hallie. The 16th annual Evenings of Dance concert series began their weekend-long performances last night. A dance production filled with choreography by guest artists, faculty, and students themselves. Evenings of Dance will have 9 shows over the weekend, showcasing what students and staff have been working on for the last semester.
It's really exciting to see the dancers expressing themselves from head to toe with nothing in between.
Despite having live performances last April and this past December, for the first time in 2 years, performers in the dance department are able to dance maskless.
Throughout my years in the UNL dance program, I've really come into my own movements and found what's comfortable for me, but being able to be pushed out of that, all of that culminates together to just make really unique moments that you wouldn't have gotten in other situations.
While the dancers are in charge of moving props and taking the stage, they aren't the only ones contributing to this performance. Hey, can you guys turn those back on? Thanks. Lighting design students and crew work closely with the dance program to add to the overall performance.
You're here to see how these bodies move in space. And we can't see how the bodies move in space unless we light those bodies in that space.
To figure out how to light each piece, choreographers fill out a sheet for the lighting crew describing the music, costuming, and other elements.
So a lot of it is based off of music and then the movement and that combination, and then whatever the choreographer can sort of tell us or how they're feeling, we try to take all of that in as we're figuring out what's going to look great on stage.
It's just a wonderful chance for the students who've been working so hard all year to develop their skills, both choreographically and technically, to have a professional forum to show their work and to have their families come, and it's just a really joyful celebration of dance.
Tonight, the performances will be available live online through the Glenn Korff School of Music website. Tickets for the in-person show are being sold online at the door or in advance through the Lead Center box office. Tanner, Hallie, back to you.
Thanks, Jill. Temperatures are up today and will stay considerably high for the next few days, which could signify some severe weather. For more on this, student meteorologist Carmelo Latuca has your outlook on severe weather.
Good afternoon, Lincoln. And for the first time since last October, it's quite sticky out there. You can really feel the moisture as you walk outside and feel that temperature. It's a little bit warmer than it actually feels. But as we take a look at the severe weather outlook behind me, we can see that we have a marginal risk of severe weather in our area. So that means we have about a chance of 1 or 2 isolated severe thunderstorms tonight. And the farther west you go, the worse the risk for severe weather is, especially in west central Nebraska, where we have an enhanced risk before we can see those really intense severe thunderstorms. But as we take a look at the wind risk for today, we can see that we have about a 5% chance in Lincoln of seeing winds greater than 60 miles per hour. But really, once you get into this hatched area in central Nebraska, that's where the winds could be in excess of 75 miles per hour. And as we take a look at the hail risk, we can see that risk is even further shifted off to the west, so that's good news for us. But once again, if you're going to central Nebraska today, that's where we could see hail in excess of 2 inches in diameter. And as we take a look at the severe outlook for tomorrow, we can see that that risk has shifted off to the east. Lincoln will once again be in the marginal risk for severe weather, so once again, 1 or 2 severe thunderstorms tomorrow. But if you're in Omaha or western Iowa, there could be another line of severe thunderstorms that develops in the late afternoon and evening. That's been your severe weather outlook. Make sure to stay tuned for the full 7-day forecast.
Thanks, Carmelo. That's right. When we come back from the break, Jessica Blum will have your full 7-day forecast.
Girls Code Lincoln is a really important part of my life, and I feel like I've created such a good relationship with the people in the group. It's really just such a strong community of girls who inspire each other to do better. It's just a place where I can come, be myself, and learn more about not only technology, but also making new relationships with people here.
Many of the brands you love don't love animals like you do. Look at the labels of products you use for a bunny logo signifying they don't lab test on animals. Check the label for those who aren't able. Start making the shift by visiting crueltyfreekitty.com today.
Welcome back to Nebraska Nightly. Jessica Blum has the look on your weather for this upcoming week.
Thanks, Tanner and Hallie. Outside right now, it is currently 87 degrees. We did not quite reach the 90-degree mark for this afternoon. Winds are out of the south at 20 to 30 miles per hour, gusting up to 50 miles per hour. So we are currently in a wind advisory, and that wind advisory will be in effect till about 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. And then the National Weather Service actually just released another wind advisory for tomorrow afternoon. It'll start tomorrow morning about 10 a.m. and then extend to about 7 p.m. tomorrow afternoon as well. And so if we extend our look across the country, we can see the reason why we're building in a lot of these warm temperatures is because of this warm front that did just pass through our area and this low pressure system that's developing off the Rocky Mountains. This low pressure system will be a slow moving system, so this cold front actually isn't even going to reach our area until tomorrow afternoon, maybe even tomorrow evening. But a lot of showers, there will be a couple chances for showers this evening and then into tomorrow as well, and we'll get to that in just a second. But as we look at tonight, that's when the showers might first start to kick up about 3 a.m. we're looking at, so past the midnight hour, probably not going to affect much of your overnight plans tonight. A lot of the severe weather risk, as we've talked about, is actually off to our west, so even the storms that do reach our area are likely to diminish by the time they reach us. So an overnight low is going to be about 66 degrees. Winds are out of the south, still at 20 to 25 miles per hour, likely even gusting to 50 now that they have released another wind advisory for our area, the National Weather Service. But talking about tomorrow, rain chances will likely extend through tomorrow morning, but then they'll clear out for the day and will warm up to about 81 degrees, and winds will still stay out of the southwest, and that will build our temperatures back up as well. And the southwest winds will be gusting upwards of 45 and 50 miles per hour for tomorrow, now that we have that wind advisory in effect for tomorrow until 7 p.m. Saturday evening, though, that's when another chance of storms does roll up from that system. This is partly because the cold front will have passed through our area and will bring another chance for some not severe weather, but just some more thunderstorms, as the severe weather will now be off to the east of our area. And winds will now have shifted to the northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusting up to 25 miles per hour. So our low for Saturday night will be about 45 degrees. Sunday, though, is when the rain will finally get out of the forecast. Will be mostly sunny skies with about 61 degrees for our high temperature on Sunday, with those winds still out of the northwest, 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusting up to 30 miles per hour, starting to feel the effects of the cold front on Sunday, and even into Monday morning. As we'll look at your 7-day forecast, Monday morning is when we could experience freezing temperatures once again. So if you have plants that are starting to bloom and you're looking to save those, you might want to cover those up for Sunday night into Monday morning, but we'll get to a high of about 58 degrees for your Monday. We'll get to a high of about 67 degrees for your Tuesday and sunny skies, but then showers might actually come back into the forecast late Wednesday night. We'll have another chance with a high of 75 degrees on Wednesday, flirting with 80-degree temperatures on Thursday, and then another system will look to push in next weekend. But that has been your 7-day forecast. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Jessica. It is nice to see it's finally warming up, but I think I just need a little bit more time to adjust to the heat.
I agree. You know, it was a really rough time walking to the studio today in the suit and everything. It needs some adjustment for sure, for sure.
As a preview to World No Tobacco Day, Nebraska Nightly's Elena Tomesh highlights the Nebraska's Tobacco Quit Line, an important tool for anyone looking to overcome their addiction.
Thanks, Hallie. Although the World Health Organization's No Tobacco Day isn't until late next month, it's never too early to start celebrating. Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services, offers resources for those who want to quit cigarette smoking or the use of e-cigarettes and vapes on their website. By calling 1-800-QUIT-NOW, you can talk to coaches 24/7 in over 200 languages for support. The organization also offers web-based coaching on the Quit Now website to get support, as well as in-person cessation programs in group or individual settings. This help is free and confidential to all Nebraska residents. The Lincoln-Lancaster County Health Department also offers the Tobacco Prevention and Education Program that educates and empowers residents to live tobacco-free lifestyles. The Tobacco-Free Lancaster County Coalition is made up of over 30 community agencies and individuals. The Prevention and Education Program and the Coalition work together to spread awareness about the harmful effects of tobacco use and how it affects our community. For more information on how to get involved, visit the City of Lincoln website. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Elena. For some local news, the Nebraska Department of Transportation has released a notice on overnight closures for 2 streets in Lincoln.
South 14th Street and Sotillo Road will be closed on Monday and Tuesday from 9 p.m. to 6 p.m. for construction on the Lincoln South Beltway.
Former President Trump is visiting Lincoln next Friday at the I-80 Speedway.
He is speaking for Republican gubernatorial candidate Charles Herbster. This is the first time Trump has appeared in Nebraska since October 2020.
When we come back, Marko Yerkovich will give us the sports rundown for the week.
there is a place for working individuals who want to work full-time and support their families to also pursue their dream, their educational dreams. So our graduates tell us that the program really broadened their perspective and they learned organizational context. They also learned to be good followers, team members, leaders, and effective members of the organization.
Welcome back to Nebraska Nightly.
Marko Yurkovich has this week's sports rundown.
Thanks, guys. We'll start with some Husker basketball and NBA playoff news. This week, former Nebraska basketball guard Delano Banton became just the 8th former Husker to compete in the playoffs, coming off the bench for the Raptors, and the first since Tyronn Lue back in 2009 with the Orlando Magic. Banton is a rookie this season. After getting drafted in the second round by Toronto, he averaged 3 points per game in 64 appearances. And now to the diamond as the Nebraska baseball team added a win to the column on Wednesday after a rough patch against the BYU Cougars. The Huskers lost 3 out of 4 against BYU last weekend. However, they did manage to steal a 4-3 home win over the North Dakota State Bison on.
Use 5 to 7 gallons per flush, making it the main source of water use in a home. You can lose more than 20 gallons of water a day from a single drippy faucet. Kitchen faucets use about 1.5 to 2 gallons per minute, whereas older faucets use more water. Wasting water is wasting time. Stop water waste now.
There's so many different choices that we're faced with as an undergrad, especially a first-generation undergraduate student.
McNair means to me opportunities and scientific discovery within a community that I wouldn't necessarily have the access to or the opportunity to be a part of.
I definitely do feel that the McNair program has helped me a ton in preparing for graduate school.
The most important thing that I learned from working with Dr. Harris and from managing my own research project within the McNair program is the idea of having a support system that can be with you in and out of the classroom as well.
To me, McNair is all about community and helping you, again, as an individual, achieving your goals.
I remember when I was a freshman, I definitely didn't have the confidence to really get into graduate school or do research, but it's definitely possible for anyone who wants to join.
McNair is one of, I would say, probably the most impactful part of my college experience because it aids specifically in my intellectual development with a bunch of other young scientific learners. I can look at McNair and say that this is the reason why I want to pursue what I want to pursue and have the confidence to pursue it as well.
Is anybody down to go to a first gen event today? So what do you think?
Looks great. Let's go.
Welcome to First Generation Nebraska.
I knew UNMC was the best place to come for nursing because of its reputation. People always talk about the great education that they received here, and I knew that at UNMC I'd be surrounded by people who were serious about their education, and not only serious about their education, but serious about making a difference and helping people in a meaningful way.
UNMC stood out for me because they offered the accelerated program. I had an eye on it even before I attained my first bachelor's degree, and then Amy kind of made that process really smooth for me, so that's really solidified the deal for me to come to UNMC.
Coming into nursing school, I was concerned about the balance that would come with ROTC and nursing. I was afraid that I would be engulfed.
We'll start with some Husker basketball and NBA playoff news. This week, former Nebraska basketball guard Delano Banton became just the 8th former Husker to compete in the playoffs, coming off the bench for the Raptors, and the first since Tyronn Lue back in 2009 with the Orlando Magic. Banton is a rookie this season. After getting drafted in the second round by Toronto, he averaged 3 points per game in 64 appearances. Now to the diamond as the Nebraska baseball team added another win to their column on Wednesday after a rough patch against BYU. The Huskers lost 3 out of 4 games to the Cougars last weekend. However, they did manage to steal a 4-3 home win over the North Dakota State Bison on Wednesday behind a 2-hit, 2 RBI performance by Griffin Everett. Now looking ahead, Nebraska hits the road this weekend for a 3-game series against conference foe Indiana before returning home on Tuesday to face former Big 12 rival Kansas State. They'll wrap up the week on Wednesday when they host the Omaha Mavericks. The Huskers are 14-21 on the season. Now over to softball as the Huskers continue to excel. Freshman Ava Breadwell is the Big Ten Freshman of the Week after her stellar performances against Minnesota. The Shawnee, Kansas native had a .643 batting average to go along with 6 RBIs last week. Fans also got to see quite the comeback Sunday at Bowling Stadium. The team at one point trailed the Golden Gophers 8-1, but Rhonda Ravel's squad showcased their toughness. Led by critical hits from Breadwell, Caitlin Neal, and a grand slam by Peyton Gladder, the Huskers tied a program record with its largest comeback victory. The win not only meant another sweep for the team, but also marked their 18th consecutive victory. To add to more excitement for the program, Nebraska made its debut in the top 25 of multiple polls on Monday. Now the Huskers travel to Madison this weekend to face Wisconsin in a 3-game series. Now to the pitch, as Nebraska is wrapping up their spring soccer season this weekend after falling to the Kansas Jayhawks 2-1 in Lawrence on Saturday. The Huskers will now host another team from the Sunflower State and a former Big 12 opponent. The Kansas State Wildcats and the Huskers will play at Barbara Hibner Stadium at 1 p.m. on Saturday in Nebraska's spring season finale. Now, lastly, in some Husker football news, 3 seniors were named to the National Football Foundation Hampshire Society. The honorees were tight end Austin Allen, defensive lineman Ben Stilley, and offensive lineman Matt Sichterman. The group highlights student athletes in their final year of eligibility who maintained a 3.2 GPA and were significant contributors to their teams. Congratulations to those former Huskers, and back to you guys.
Thanks, Marco. It's great to hear about some of the accomplishments of our student athletes. When we come back from the break, we will have Tanner share with us what entertainment options to look out for the week.
Toilets can use 5 to 7 gallons per flush, making it the main source of water use in a home. You can lose more than 20 gallons of water a day from a single drippy faucet. Kitchen faucets use about 1.5 to 2 gallons per minute, whereas older faucets use more water. Wasting water is wasting time. Stop water waste now.
This week, Tanner has a summary of some live events and entertainment in Lincoln for this coming week.
Thanks, Hallie. There's plenty to do for everyone, whether you're a student looking to de-stress before finals or a parent looking for a fun outing with the kids. First, let's take a look at some live events happening this week. Tonight at the Crescent Moon Cafe is open mic night. It's open for anyone to perform original or cover songs. On Saturday morning, you can take advantage of the nice weather and participate in the Family Walk or Run 5K for the Autism Family Network. That starts at 7 a.m. at the Lancaster County Event Center. On Tuesday, the Lincoln Zen Center is hosting beginners meditation classes. And finally, the Broadway smash hit musical Come From Away is coming to the Lead Performing Arts Center on Wednesday. That production will be here until May 1st. And of course, if you're in the mood for some music, there's plenty of live music options across multiple venues this week. Tonight, Mike Semrad and the Riverhawks will be at the Zoo Bar. On Wednesday, Citizen Cope will have a show at the Bourbon Theater as part of his 2022 tour. Over in Omaha, heavy metal legends Megadeth will be at the Baxter Arena on Tuesday. And the biggest music event in Lincoln this week will be tomorrow night at the Pinnacle Bank Arena. Country music icon George Strait will be in Lincoln on Saturday night with special guest Asleep at the Wheel. And if you want to head over to the movies this week, there's lots of interesting films to see. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent opens in theaters tonight. The R-rated action comedy sees Nicolas Cage portraying himself as he gets caught up in a CIA spy plot. Also in theaters today is The Northman from horror visionary Robert Eggers. Full of brutal Viking action, it centers on one man's journey of revenge against the man who killed his father. If you want something a bit calmer, Lunana, A Yak in the Classroom is currently showing at the Reet Maras Theater on UNL's campus. The foreign film features a teacher searching for purpose at a remote school in Bhutan. Overall, entertainment in Lincoln is as diverse as always. For our final show of the semester next week, I'll give you a complete preview of the biggest entertainment events coming in the summer.
All right, thanks Tanner for the update. It should be a really nice weekend to get out and do some of those activities.
I agree. And for our final story of the night, Jordan Opp from Nebraska News Service spoke to cartoonist Paul Feld.
If I've done my best cartoon, then why the hell am I still doing it? You know, I hope the one I do tomorrow is better than the one I did yesterday. I always had a tendency to like to draw, and that's a lot of what I did in school instead of paying attention. You know, I'd sit in the back of the room and daydream and draw. When I was a freshman in high school, I went out for football with my buddies. This is back in Massachusetts, and it was a big school, big high school, like one of the Lincoln high schools. And the end of my freshman year, I'd failed half my classes, so I had to go to summer school. And then I still had to make up classes my sophomore year, so I couldn't play football. So I would go home, and my buddies would go to practice, and I'd go home and just draw, fill the time. But I just always loved doing that. I don't want to stop drawing because it's who I am, it's what I do. It's my hobby, it's my profession. You know, that's kind of cool in itself. So I'll keep doing this till one day they'll find me sitting at the drawing board, you know, with my head stuck to a drawing. You know, that's maybe the ideal way to go, is kind of like the old farmer. You know, he doesn't want to die in town. He wants to die out in his fields. You know, probably the ideal scene would be he's riding his tractor and he passes away, and the tractor just gets to the end of the road and gets stuck, and that's it.
Thanks, Jordan.
And thank you for joining us for Nebraska Nightly. We'll see you next week for our final show.
Have a great weekend.